Welcome to day one of this beginner cello course for adults. I'm going to give you some reminders. We're going to hit some highlights. There are some videos here already on the channel, and I'm going to put those here in the beginner course playlist and refer to those. But here in this video, we're just going to go over what should you practice on day one. You've just gotten a cello. You're starting out on this wonderful cello journey. I'm still having fun with it. It's still exciting after 36 years now, almost 37, and 20 as a teacher. And so congratulations. If you really are a true beginner, maybe you're reviewing some things for yourself, which is totally awesome as well. But here in this beginner course, I'm going to walk you through what I hope to be all of the stuff that, I wish I'd had as a beginner, something, a daily check-in, a daily walkthrough, all right? All right, so first thing is posture and position, all right? Getting set up at the cello and making sure that we have a few things in place. As I mentioned, here in the playlist, I'm going to put the cello sizing video, which I say in the video could just as easily be called cello posture and position. They're really the same video. You can't talk about one without the other. So hopefully you have the right size cello and you can get it into position there. All right, so I'm going to refer you to that video next here in the playlist because it is that important. It should be the very next thing. And maybe you need to watch that one and then come back to this one so that we can check in together here. And we're going to practice together here at the end of this video. All right. So I have my cello here. First thing is, of course, the chair, right? I want to make sure that I have the right height of chair. And I go over this in the posture position video. Hips even with knees, okay? Or slightly above knees is what you want, okay? And I'm constantly checking a few things here. These points of contact, knee, chest, all right here in my sternum, in my solar plexus, and the peg is behind my neck, and I can sit up straight, okay? And I'm, on a daily basis going through, especially in the beginning, it's so important that I get this set up right. My stool is kind of squeaking here, I noticed, all right? And once it gets set up, and I say all this extensively, all right, is that you give it a little hug test, put your arms around it, and that you be able to move back and forth, okay? Because we want to be able to eventually move while we're playing. And then I'm able to maintain all these points of contact here as I'm sitting at the instrument, okay? Knee, chest. Now, if something, since this is for adults, I imagine you probably don't need a fractional size instrument. Never know though. 7/8. There is such a thing as a 7/8 cello. If that's what you have, great. Remember, if the cello feels a little big, right, a taller chair, all right, can help you overcome a bigger instrument. Okay. I have lots of cushion recommendations here on the channel if that's what you need, if you're finding that the chair is too short. Okay. All right. So if it feels like the instrument is just huge here against you, get yourself propped up. Okay. Get yourself propped up. And even if the instrument feels small, then the opposite is not true. We always kind of prop ourselves up, right? We should. Hips even with knees, no matter what. All right. But if you're a little smaller person, all right, cello's feeling enormous, all right, sitting up nice and tall will help that, okay? All right, so I'm giving it the hug test. I'm checking all these things. Now remember, we also sit off to the side a little bit when we're setting up at the instrument. This helps me maintain all these places. I'm a little short-waisted myself. All my height is in my legs. And so in order to get the peg out of the way and not have the cello just enormously, I'm going to let my end bend out just a little bit here, okay? All right. I have to sit off to the side, and this is pretty normal thing for a lot of cellists to do, okay? All right. I sometimes tend to start out end pin a little short. This also gives me some power out here, all right, later on to be able to get the bow, which we'll talk about that later as we go along here in this beginner cello course, all right? So, what's on my checklist for today? All right, what am I checking off? I'm reading it right off the sheet with you here. I have the correct kind of chair and size for me. It's tall enough and it doesn't sink in too much, okay? Chair is so important, all right? As a cellist, you've got to learn to be really picky about the chair, okay? I know it's tall enough because my hips are even with my knees or slightly above my knees, okay? Use a mirror, all right? Mirror, very important. Or take a picture of yourself, all right? Get somebody to take a picture so you can really, really see if this chair is the right size, the right height, okay? Okay, next thing on the checklist. Cello is hitting me in the 3 points of contact. Left knee, right knee, chest. This is really, really important. Without these corners, right, poking me down here. Make sure you watch the video. I can sit up straight and the peg is behind my neck. If this peg is hitting you in any kind of way, all right, while I'm trying to achieve these 3 points of contact, I got to adjust the end pin length, okay? I must adjust the end pin length, and we're going to practice that together here in a second, all right? So that's what's on our practice list is we're going to practice getting comfortable, okay, getting the end pin out, all right, and giving it this hug test and moving around. Now, why do I get to the practice list after the checklist? Well, this is going to be an ongoing thing as we go through this beginner cello course, because we're going to have things daily on our checklist, right, that we're checking off, but we're continuing. It's never, this really is a journey. It's never one and done. You have to review a lot. You have to go back, all right? You have to make sure, you have to check in on some things, okay? So maybe some things that we've checked off our list, but that we need to revisit a little bit, okay? Or adjust, okay? This is an ongoing process. And so we're always going to have daily things, okay, with each lesson that we want to check off, but then we also want to have things that we're reviewing and continually practicing, because that is, you know, an art form in itself. We're learning how to practice alongside learning how to play the cello, how to do the things, yes? Okay, so our practice list for today is just getting comfortable, getting this end pin out, all right, and feeling very comfortable setting up the instrument. So let's practice together now. I'm going to put my end pin in, all right? You can do it with me here. Have it all the way in. I'm going to pretend I just got it out of the case, getting ready to practice. And then here we go. Letting this out. Finding my rock stop here. Whoop, too short. Peg's hitting me. That's it. All right, I'm sitting up straight. Maybe I could let it out a little bit more, all right? You know, it's like, gee, Clay, aren't you a professional? You've done this for a long time. You know, we want to learn how this feels, all right? It shouldn't just be, you know, I think this is a mistake the beginners make. Let me just measure the end pin, you know, and I should always put it out exactly this many centimeters, okay? With one caveat, all right? I say that like that's a bad thing, but let me tell you something here, all right? Let's do it one more time. And then I'm going to give you a little suggestion, perhaps. Speaking of measuring, I do measure. It's a secret. Shh. Okay. Got my cello. Just got it out. Ready? Take it. See if I can hit it a little bit better this time. Because I always do it a little short, yeah? I don't know why I do it so short. I'm going to do it long this time. Let's see what happens. Oh, that feels pretty good. I guess it feels like it's too long. Maybe I should make it a little shorter. Maybe I'm not sitting up straight. Maybe my posture could improve. I'm going to shorten it just a little bit, okay? So this is a constant ongoing thing. Okay? Now, little side note, pro tip. What I do with the beginner kiddos, okay? Because when you're very small or you're starting out, you know, it's hard to do this for yourself. So here for the last year, actually, I've been starting every single child with a stool. I love these IKEA stools right here, okay? And I send them home with a stool so that I know exactly what they are sitting on. And we make sure the stool is sitting forward. And then I use the strap, the Zeros cello strap, and we measure it and we get it set here in the studio, all right? And then we do actually mark the end pin, all right, as a starting point. So if you want this set up, okay, you can find links to all this stuff here on the channel, except maybe not the IKEA stool. I don't think you can get that one on Amazon. Or I will tell you which one it is if you have an IKEA near you. But if you want to put the strap out, mark the end pin when you feel like you've gotten a really, really comfortable position so that you can get back to it each time. This is a great way to be consistent, okay, with your setup, is to mark the end pin, okay, all right, and use the strap, because the strap doesn't change, the length stays the same, and of course marking the end pin with some pencil or a permanent marker or something. All right, so that's the one exception to measuring. But I would never say, oh, you're this tall, you need to let your end pin out inches or centimeters. That's just not how it works. That would never work. Okay, so let's practice one last time here. All right. So I think this is one of the hardest things, is just learning to feel what this cello is supposed to feel like. And it's always interesting to me that, how students get better at it, right? It just starts to, even without adjusting the instrument or the end pin length so much, you just get used to getting comfortable with this huge hunk of wood against you. All right, so we're gonna let it out. Remember, sometimes it's not always end pin length, okay? Sometimes, not mine too long. I need to just adjust the angle, okay? I need to bring this up like this, all right? Using my black hole here, okay? All right, and so you need to adjust the angle, maybe. Yeah, mine's a little short now. I'm just gonna let it out, and you'll learn to adjust this. I mean, I'm pulling this out like not even, it's like a few millimeters. Oh, but it makes all the difference in the world, okay? Just getting that peg away from me so that I feel comfortable playing. All right, watch this as many times as you need to. In this course, I'll just say this here is, I put day 1, day 2, going through the course at your own pace, right? That is the way of things, and do it according to how you need to, so that you enjoy this, all right? So that you'll keep coming back, so that we can make progress together, or move as fast as you want to. It's up to you. This is a great thing about video, free video that you can watch as many times as you want, whenever you want, forever. All right. We'll see you in the next one.